Hello Libra, I am Joe with Divine Daily Tarot, and I'm going to do a reading for you for the month of April about your finances, money, prosperity, abundance, work, and career, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see where this goes. I pre-shuffled the cards and I'm ready to roll. Just a side note before we get into it. How do you know if this reading is for you? Well, if it really makes you feel something, then you know it's for you, the message is for you. Additionally, that can apply for cross watchers. I do read cards that jump out, and I generally don't read reversals in a general reading, but I may do that. So we'll see where this goes with your money, career, and work life, and all that good stuff, and perhaps some other things might come out. And with that, let's get started. Libra, here we go. I hope you guys are ready. So I don't know, a lot of interesting things over the last few days when I've been doing tarot readings and other types of readings, and there seems to be some common themes with some of the other signs, and let's see what comes out. I'd be really interested to see if this theme of forward momentum and charging forward is going to show up in your reading. We have the Three of Pentacles, and that card is going to be surrounding somewhere around the first week of April, and it's going to be this is not a strict template, so this could show up anytime around the first week of April. And the Three of Pentacles could, to me, so I read cards intuitively first before I really apply a strict face value to them. And I'm sorry if you hear noise, but my cat Cleo just turns into the devil every time I decide to start shuffling my cards. But I do read the cards intuitively first, and then I do also apply a face value to them. It really just depends on what is coming out with the other cards. If I get any kind of message, otherwise I will apply that first. But the Three of Pentacles here is, to me, intuitively, just it comes out like there's maybe a feeling of loss of control, or some kind of inability to get things to go your way. And so that's the first card for the month of April. And I'm going to lay the 4 weeks out, and then we're going to come back and pull another deck and see what we can find out. You have the Page of Wands. So you may be getting some kind of message or communication about your employment, and this message could be in any area of your career or employment, but you're likely to hear a message. What I'm hearing internally in my own mind is it's time to move on. So this might be a message that you are kind of sending yourself, telling yourself. But let's see what else comes out. We have the Magician. So this may be a area of your life, in your work life, where you're unhappy and you feel stuck, and by the time you get to the third week in April, or sometime in that time frame, you may very well be ready to move on and be released from boundaries and constraints and other things that you have to follow. And so you might feel like you're limited where you're at right now. And what you may be looking for is some type of employment, work, job, or business, or whatever it is that you do that does not place so many restrictive boundaries on you. And then we have the Star, and that's amazing. So I think what you're coming into toward the end of April is really the ability to unleash your creativity and some of the things that have been kind of held back for you. And and we're going to get to the bottom of the deck later on this deck, but I think that you're really looking to just get to a place where you don't have so many limitations in your career and work life. But let's see what else we get here, and we'll talk about it some more. We'll go back to the first week of April, where I had mentioned that there might be this, feeling of loss of control, and not being able to, do things that maybe, I don't want to use the term your way, but there are just some things that you feel like can be done a better way. And there just is this disconnect and a lack of harmony where you're at. And generally this card talks about cooperation, but usually in a more positive note. So we have the Ace of Wands. So clarifying this, Three of Pentacles is the Ace of Wands. This Ace of Wands could very well be tied to this Page of Wands. And this Page of Wands is after you've probably made your mind up, which starts here in the first week of April, that you may get to the point where you are ready to start out on your own with something related to your work or career. You may, be ready to just cut ties and just chart your own path. The Ace is a 1, and that is a new start. That is a beginning. That is like taking the first footstep in this reading. So I feel like that's where this is heading. We have the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords, knights are a lot about movement. Sometimes the movement is slow, sometimes the movement is fast. The Knight of Swords can be a little quick with his tongue. The Knight of Swords can act in haste sometimes. The Knight of Swords can also be very reserved, but he's very powerful. And when he moves with precision. So you might want to be careful about getting caught up in any judgmental thoughts and things like that when you're making your plan, formulating your plan here in the first week of April. If you are deciding to move on, if you're deciding to just take a step away from where you're at, do it in a way that is, you want to leave on good terms, whatever you're leaving behind, because you never know down the road in the future when you may need to fall back on some people in your business or trade, and you want to make sure you leave or move on on good terms. So to me, the Knight of Swords is about you, charging forward and taking control of what it is that has you unhappy. So this Page of Wands in the second week is you probably making that decision, or that's too many, or perhaps you may find out that they are wanting to cut ties with you. I don't know. So let's have a look here and see what this Page of Wands is about. We have the Nine of Pentacles. So I don't think anybody's looking to cut you out of where you're at. In fact, I get the feeling that the people that you are working with and involved with in your work environment and business probably really don't have that much of an idea of what's going on in your head. So I think maybe this Page of Swords, or I mean Page of Wands here, I'm sorry, is really telling you that the grass is greener on the other side. But with that, there's always a word of caution. And you are probably looking for the best of both worlds with this change that you're wanting to make. And that best of both worlds is more control over what it is that you are doing, more creative control, more executive control, or just more management control, or more control over the overall scope of your work. And on top of that, the best of both worlds is you are looking for that financial increase, and that would come along with moving on. I don't think this is something you will do if the best of both worlds does not seem to be apparent. But you do end up with the Star down later on in the month, which I think you're probably heading in that direction. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and yes, you are heading in that direction in April. The second week of April is probably a time where you are beginning to manifest your plan. The Ace of Pentacles, again, you have two aces. So the Ace of Wands is forward movement on a new path. It's a new start. The Ace of Pentacles is about again, it's a beginning, and that beginning is to grow something to further enrich yourself. So this is good. This is very positive. The Page of Wands could also be you communicating with other people in your business and trade, and putting your feelers out there, letting them know you're looking. It could be resumes, it could be cover letters, it could be anything, really. So that Page of Wands may not just be about your internal decision to take action, but it could be really about you communicating that to other people in your place of work. As we go into the third week of April, you have the Devil. Every time lately I see this card, I think of Seinfeld and the whole New Jersey Devil episode, which is just hysterical, but that's a side note. You may find that you struggle with your shadow side. So you have the Magician and you have the Devil, and that to me is very it's just very dualistic in a sense. So you may have some things that you need to let go of, some expectations and some very rigid thoughts that you need to let go of, because that's going to hinder your ability to really make things happen. So the Devil is a warning to you to I hate using the word reevaluate, because sometimes I say certain words too much, but really it's to really closely examine some of your beliefs and feelings about what it is that you've set your mind on. This is like have an open mind and have an open heart. Don't be too rigid. Don't approach this with an ego, and to basically be humble, but at the same time be confident that you can make these things happen. And then we also have Strength. So this is really interesting, but strength, especially divine strength, will always overcome the Devil. And I like how the Devil here appears sandwiched in between the Magician and Strength. So this is, to me, is a win-win, that that any type of internal conflict you're going to have is going to be snuffed out, because it's nested right in between the Magician and the Strength card. And the Strength card is absolutely amazing. It depicts the woman as half lion, half human, and there at her side is a lamb. And we could go into all kinds of analogies and dialogues about that, but this is really just such a beautiful lineup of the third week, and it actually really just it's inspiring to me. The fourth week of April, we have the Lovers, which to me, this is not a romantic love. Not all love is romantic. There's many types of love and many levels of love. To me, this represents a passion on your path. And this, almost like the third week here, I'm just really curious what this Lovers card is going to sandwich in between with the Star. Just like the Magician and the Strength card are cradling the Devil, let's see what the Star and the Lovers card is going to be laid out with, because that's absolutely amazing. So you have the Six of Pentacles, so you have give and take, and so that's very symbolic of what lovers would represent, give and take, even though this is not romantic. The Six of Pentacles is about give and take. And really, if you looked at the Three of Pentacles down here and the Six of Pentacles up here, this to me is the completion of that balance, being able to really find that balance and harmony, and hence the reason for that decision to move forward. So overall, I think this is really amazing. I do think it's very positive, and I would like to know how this plays out for you over the month of April. This could even be something you're already on the cusp of, and you may intuitively know that it's coming. And you know, I would like to hear more, so please don't hesitate to like, share, subscribe, comment. And before we close, we have the Seven of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and that is the base of this. And this is this conflict, but this is internal conflict, and maybe some of that, what we talked about earlier with that feeling of loss of control surrounding the work and career aspect. So again, I thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, show me some love. I would appreciate it, and you have a great day.